Welcome to Daily Truths with Dave Ahlman.
Hi, everybody. I want to tell you a story about my mom when I was growing up. I was about in ninth grade or so and went to church at Gethsemane Lutheran Church in North Glen, Colorado. My dad was a pastor there. And of course, I'd go to communion with my mom, and he was kind of old school and he never communed with us. I think it's cool, by the way, when pastors commune with their families before offering the gift to the rest of the congregation. I think that's awesome. Or waiting till the end. But my dad didn't do that. So I always went to communion with my mom. And since I was the youngest in my family by 9 years, during those high school years, it was just my mom and I seated in the pew. So for like 2 months in a row, I went to communion and my mom stayed back and didn't go. And I wasn't that close to her. And I didn't feel like I was courageous enough to ask her why she didn't go. I just noticed for like 2 months, she didn't. Well, what does that have to do with this text? Well, listen to this. This is Matthew chapter 5, verses 23 and 24. So if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First be reconciled to your brother and then come and offer your gift. So this is talking about offerings that God's people would give in the temple, in the holy place, not the most holy place, but the holy place, where they bring sacrifices, according to the book of Leviticus, sacrifices to God, usually offerings, and oftentimes their first fruits from their harvest. So what's Jesus saying here? If you know that there's someone angry at you, before you bring your offering, be reconciled to them and then bring your offering. Now, that's a good point, because when we're in church, we should be at peace with everybody, right? As a matter of fact, we have interpreted this passage as a prerequisite for coming to communion. We say that when we prepare for communion, we ask ourselves 4 questions. Am I sorry for my sins? Do I believe in Jesus? Do I believe that Jesus is present in this meal, in the bread and wine of communion? And number 4, am I willing to amend my sinful life? But I think a 5th question we could ask is, am I at peace with everyone around me? And if you're not, if you know that someone is angry at you or you're angry at someone else, before we come to the altar to receive the sacrament, we ought to be reconciled to them, be at peace with them, and do whatever it takes, according to, as we talked about the other day, Romans chapter 15, do whatever it takes to be at peace with them. So what does this mean for us? Either when we're bringing our offering before the Lord or when we're going to communion, it is a time of peace and fellowship, that you are at peace with everyone gathered around that table and at peace with everyone in your life as far as it depends on you. So here's your take home. If you're at odds with someone right now, or someone is at odds with you before you go to the Lord's Supper, be reconciled to them. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about the immediacy of that, because oftentimes we let that go and we just kind of put it off and we hope the problem will go away and that'll take care of itself on its own. No, that's not scriptural. And tomorrow I'll teach you the scriptural principles of how to be reconciled to someone who's at odds with you. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow and talk about the immediacy that Jesus emphasizes in the text that I share with you tomorrow. And now let's get back to my mom's story. So for 2 months, she didn't go to communion. Well, one day, I was about, like I said, a freshman or sophomore in high school. One day we went down to see my Aunt Marie. And I had nothing going that day. And I thought, well, I'll go see my Aunt Marie. She's cool. I really like her. She's very nice. And so I visited with her for a while. And then I went in the backyard. She had a basketball hoop there. I went in the backyard and I shot some hoops. Well, I came in about halfway through shooting hoops and I heard my mom and my Aunt Marie having a very heated conversation about something that my mom had done to Marie. And they talked it out and they had some harsh words and stuff. But at the end of the meeting, when we left, they hugged each other. They said they loved each other. They said they forgave one another. And guess what? The next Sunday, my mom took communion with me. Now, I didn't know this passage I shared with you today. I had no idea why she wasn't going to communion, wasn't going to communion. All of a sudden she goes, but now I know. She was at odds with her sister, and she knew that her sister was angry at her. And so she went expressly for the purpose of being at peace with her sister so she could take the Lord's Supper. Love it. So again, if you're at odds with somebody before you take the sacrament, Do whatever it takes to be at peace with them. And we'll talk about how to do that tomorrow. Have a great day in Christ. And that is today's Daily Truth.
Thank you for tuning in to Daily Truths with Dave Ahlman. If this ministry is blessing you, please consider supporting us by sharing this channel with a friend. You can also like, comment, subscribe, or leave a review. This helps us tremendously. Come back tomorrow for your next Daily Truth.